We're having tea this time. I didn't feel like having coffee. I felt like this topic was more of a tea situation. So, got my little steeping cup. And my mom just bought this for me. I think it's super cute. Keeps the warmth in and I really like it. So here we go. That's Earl Grey with bergamot. It's pretty tasty stuff. This is not going to be an easy video to make, and it's just going to be a whole trigger warning. The entire video is a trigger warning. If deeply psychological topics bother you, I would just click off and not watch this one and just come back later if you choose to. If you're new here, hello. If you're back, hi guys. Gentlemen, ladies, non-binary daisies, here I am. Okay, this is a video I've been wanting to make for a little while, and I hadn't thought about how. And I asked some advice from different people, and I think I'll just jump right into it. So, let's see. This started when I was 13. I'm 27 now. I'll be 28 in May. And it's something I've struggled with the entire time, off and on in my life. It's something that's deeply misunderstood. It's something that I think people relate to wanting to end yourself, which isn't the case. It's a poor coping mechanism is what it is, and what I'm referring to is non-suicidal self-harm, or just self-harm in general. This could be bruising, burning, cutting, scraping, hitting your head against the wall. I've seen a lot of different ways that people do it. Me specifically, I was always more prone to cutting. I would pick scabs though, not let wounds heal. I would bite my fingers down to the quicks until they bled, rip off my cuticles. I've punched my legs so hard that I had humongous bruises before. It's a lot. And intentional self-injury is, well, the purpose of it is to release an intense emotional thing inside of you that you can't really express to anybody. You feel alone, you feel completely overwhelmed. It's like reaching for a cigarette, or speeding down the highway, or, you know, abusing anything really, just using anything to mentally check out of the situation at hand and to feel something different. And a lot of people say they focus on the pain because the internal pain becomes physical and you can focus on that. For me, it was never that. It was more of a, not a self-punishment, but it was more of a me thing where it was something secret that I kept to myself, and, you know, only my closest friends knew about, and it was something I could do to, you know, get all the mixed up thoughts in my head out. And that's what it was like, is when I mean, again, trigger warning, just saying, when I'd watch, you know, the blood run out, it would really feel that way. It would feel like all those screwed up, messed up thoughts in my head were just running out of me, like a bloodletting, like a cleansing. And so it was never about the pain, because it really doesn't hurt me specifically. Like, I have way more painful shit going on. But yeah, it started actually because, circa early 2000s, the emo scene kids were a big thing, and I started hanging out with this friend who's now my ex-friend. We haven't talked for almost 2 years, that's a whole other thing. But her best friend at the time was on my bus. She rode my bus to and from school. And this was 8th grade. I was 13. So we were young. And I had started to change up my style, wearing eyeliner, painting my nails black, just feeling myself, you know what I mean? Just changing it up, wearing the skinny jeans, black, all that shit. And she didn't like me because she felt jealous of my new friendship with her best friend. And it was desperately obvious. It's just that me and this other girl clicked more and spent more time together, and I don't know, the other girl was jealous. She was jealous. And so yeah, she tells me I'm a poser. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, it's not cool of you to wear that kind of style when you're just a poser. And I was like, what? Explain, expound on that, please. I'm confused. It's just a style that I happen to like. I've always leaned towards more of the goth thing than just strictly emo, but like, whatever. So she says to me, good Lord, my hair's a mess. That's a side note. This pink it wasn't pink. Anyway, she says to me I'm a poser, and I was like, okay, what do you mean? And it ended up that she pulled down her sleeve, like right here. Just pulled it down slightly, and there were these just red lines, and they were pretty superficial. I mean, it wasn't anything scary, serious, like tell an adult right now, holy shit, you need stitches. But I was like, what is that? And she's like, if you don't cut yourself, you can't be an emo kid. And I'm like, you did that to yourself? It never occurred to me. That kind of thing had never occurred to me. So I'm thinking that this, her best friend, my newly budding best friend, wouldn't like me if I was a poser and all that. And to be honest, I had been dealing with a lot of mental shit for years, and the idea of something that I could do to alleviate that was so readily available was appealing to me, to be honest. But yeah, I did start cutting as a way to fit in. I started cutting as a way to fit in. That's really sad, but it's true. So that's how it started. So I went home that night. I figured out how to take apart a little Bic razor, because at that time I had just barely started shaving my legs and stuff like that. That was another reason. I started shaving my legs because of bullying in gym class. But anyway, that's another story. Middle schoolers are just fucked. But yeah, so I went home that night, took apart a razor, got the razor blade, and of course I was trying to hide this. I wasn't going to put it where she put it, because I was definitely afraid of getting caught, but I wanted to try it. So I had, up here, I had just gotten in the shower, and this was where I typically would do this from then on, because it was easy to deal with the mess, but, and I just clean it up when I got out. But yeah, I remember, probably, right here, I cut once, and then I kind of just watched my skin open up and bloom this flower, this red flower out of it, and it was just an interesting feeling. It's really hard to describe that first time, and I got addicted to it. I still struggle with it. I think the last time I relapsed with it was a couple months ago because my cat passed away. So yeah, it's just hard to talk about too, because so many people misunderstand, and they think you're disgusting, and they think you're weird, and they think that you're trying to kill yourself or just go ape shit over the top, or leave you alone, which is worse. And then eventually I was stupid, left a razor out where I thought it was hidden, but it wasn't. My mom was cleaning my bathroom, found it underneath this little container that I had with jewelry in it, because I just slid it under there because I planned on using it later. And then confronted me, and my stepdad went completely apeshit and reacted with anger. He tore my first concert, mind you, that was technically also my first date. They didn't know about it. It was with a girl, but yeah. He tore my Hawk Nelson poster off the wall in my room and crumpled it into a fucking ball, ripped my sleeve up, looked at it, and then just completely wrong reaction, just made it worse, just made me want to do it more as a self-punishment type of thing, as a how fucking dare you, it's my body, I'll do what I want, you're not even my real dad type of fuck you kind of situation. Like, totally took over the situation, and my mom, I don't think really knew what to do, but she definitely did not step in that interaction, which I wish she had, and we've talked about it since, but it's something I've never really been able to let go, was that I never got the help I needed. Obviously, it was a cry for help. Obviously, I was dealing with psychological shit, and it was never taken seriously. It was just, oh, I think my stepdad thought I wanted attention or some shit. He was just an asshole. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, I mean, my style changed even. Like, I wore the emo clothes and stuff like that, but I started wearing, like, pullovers, that are open pullovers, things like that. And then even with tank tops, I had these little, how they go, they're like a dress cover-up or a dress accessory, but they're like sleeves, and then just about yay long, you just kind of pull it over a tank top so I could hide it. And then I started wearing longer shorts, also because I always hated my legs and that kind of thing, but that's beside the point. Like, I would cut my thighs as high up as I could go. Just little things changed, just so I could hide it, and it kept going on and on for a while. And I remember passing a note to one of my friends, in middle school, and the teacher got it, and it was about cutting, and me asking him how he stopped. And then I got taken to the office. They had me talk to a child psychologist and didn't fucking call my parents. Didn't tell my parents I needed to see somebody. Didn't tell my parents I needed help. Didn't even tell them they talked to me. So, that was fun. I think they threatened to suspend me too. Just what's with the fucking punishment reaction? Like, you think that's gonna make somebody stop? You think that's gonna make somebody stop? Yeah, if you're a parent out there and your kid is having these issues, do not punish them. Don't react violently, angrily. Don't do that. Get them fucking help. Like, legitimate help. Okay? Shit. It's not, oh, I'm trying to spite my parents thing. It's, I am fucked up. I need help. Anyway. But it continued on because it made me feel closer to the best friend I had stolen from the girl who called me a poser, apparently. It made me feel closer to my friend group because it was something we all shared. That was a secret. Nowadays, people just wear those scars and let them hang out like it's some form of currency. Like, oh, who's more fucked up than who? You get judged by how you handle your shit. It's so sad. But, we all did it. So it wasn't weird. It was a group thing. It was something I could, relay my pain in an obvious way. And, yeah, I don't know. My senior year of high school, there was an incident where, well, I think it was my junior year, yeah. There was an incident, because, I mean, let's be honest, they don't diagnose bipolar disorder in kids, usually. It waits till you're 20 when you've already fucked up your entire teenage life, and for some reason they don't want to diagnose kids with bipolar disorder, I don't understand why. It's not fucking hormones. It's not a phase. It's pretty obvious when somebody has bipolar disorder. It's obvious. But anyway, so in high school, there was an incident where I got forced into counseling. The therapist, it was just kind of a joke. I didn't take it seriously because it was forced on me. And they forced me to take Prozac, which made me 9 times worse because, hello, some people can't handle those types of drugs, especially when you have bipolar disorder. That is not something you want to give somebody. You know, you need a mood stabilizer, not an antidepressant. It can make you fucking manic, agitated, all that crap, and that's exactly what happened to me. It just exacerbated all the bad symptoms. I felt less sad, but I was manic as shit most of the time, and they didn't question it. The doctor kept telling my mom, it's just a phase, she's just a teenager, it's hormones, blah, blah. The fuck it was. I had a serious, life-threatening mental illness. I had tried, the first time I tried to kill myself, I was 10. Anyway, so yeah, that's the whole thing. And, the cutting got worse when I was an adult because I didn't feel like I had anything to lose and I didn't fear punishment anymore. And I had a really bad relationship with an older man who just totally sent me off the rails and was an instigator and was sarcastic and awful. And yeah, that's a whole thing. That's just an abuser. I'm sorry. I don't care if he sees this ever. I don't care. He was abusive. Just straight the fuck up. I was mentally ill, I needed help, and he was abusive. Started calling the cops on me all the time. For nothing. But yeah, he had me thrown in a mental ward twice. Second time, he gave me a breakup letter while I was in there. Came home and all my shit was in plastic bags. That's a whole other thing. But I mean, I think getting diagnosed, though, was helpful. Like, him having me put in the ward was helpful because, I mean, there's other ways to find relief for pain that are, pretty quick, that aren't, abusing your body, I guess. Like, learning better coping skills is important. Because while cutting is an instant relief type of thing, that's why it's so addictive. And while I wasn't diagnosed or on proper medication, because I had just gone off that Prozac when I became an adult and was like, fuck that drug, I hate it. And I hadn't been to a therapist or anything like that ever since. So yeah, because it was a condition of probation that I was on. So I was just like, yeah, I'm going to get through this until I don't have to deal with this anymore. This is uncomfortable. I hate it. They tell my parents everything. I can't deal with this. Just made everything worse. But yeah, now, I mean, like I said, I slipped up about 2 months ago, so hiding it is still a thing. Now my scars are pretty severe. Just like lots and lots anyway. Like, not, I almost cut my freaking arm off. Like, I did have an incident where I went too deep and it scared the shit out of me, and that was the only time that I really was scared. But I mean, dealing with the scars and questions that I've gotten about the scars, I mean, there was a summer, like 2 summers ago, the mosquitoes were really, really bad, and I had somebody ask me if I was burning myself with cigarettes because I had scabs all over, and they were round, like round bites, so that really messed up my mental state, them thinking that I was burning myself. I never was a burner, it was just a cutter, but I think the hardest thing to deal with is when you get questioned by children. Children notice everything. Like this, I'm giving up trying to fill in this eyebrow. I have this huge scar from a car crash, but, I always try to even out my brows and everything, and I'm just like, screw it. It's there. Whatever. I've had questions about it. It is what it is. It's a part of my face. I don't even realize it's there. Kind of like my tattoos. They're just my skin. It's just a thing. But yeah, I mean, it's like, I can't really see. I mean, yeah. I've got some scar tissue. This is not the, it's not the best lighting. Definitely have some scars. You can see them kind of raised up. Got them on both arms. Kind of just look like bumpy. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah. There's a lot. There's some on my thighs too, but I'm not taking my pants down on a video. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, I mean, I get questions a lot. You know, like, oh, what happened? I even had somebody, I don't remember whose kid that was. I think they were probably 12, maybe 10. And they were like, oh, I know what that is. And I'm like, you know, the real little kids who ask about it, they're like, why does your skin look like that? I'm just like, I just tell them, like, sometimes monsters don't always hide under your bed or in the closet. And they don't always hide in your dreams. Sometimes you have to fight them when you're wide awake. And sometimes it's a hard fight and you get battle scars. And that's basically all I've said, because I don't want to put ideas in someone else's child's head. You know, I'm not trying to be offensive or anything, but yeah, if my arms are healed and everything and it's blazing hot outside, yeah, I'm going to wear short sleeves. Hello. That's a thing. And winter and fall, you know, I have a lot of hoodies, I have a lot of flannels, I have a lot of long sleeve, long pants and stuff, and that was always easiest. But, you know, when the weather warms up and stuff like that, it was hard. Really was hard. Hiding it and everything. But I guess talking about this, like, my point in talking about this is it's a real thing. There are books, there are science papers, there are mini videos, there are hotlines, there are tons of research and resources out there to help with this problem, because I don't want to see another generation that ends up being my age. They're just covered in these scars. I mean, I don't know if I'm ever going to get cover-up tattoos, but I feel like if I did have the tattoos, it would take away the urge to hurt myself, because I'm an artist and I wouldn't cut through art. That would just be a waste of money and that'd be terrible. But yeah, this is a hard one to make, so if I rambled on, I apologize. I had to take medication to get through this, because I was crying pretty hard earlier. It's just a battle, you know, and talking to people about it's terrible. And my mom, you know, I know it's made my mom suffer, and it's made my mom probably question herself, and I don't want that. And I don't want my family, you know, like my grandma Karen, when I lived with her, she noticed that it was happening. She was very upset. And it broke me, you know, because I love her a lot. She's a great lady. My mom's a great woman. My grandma Lou, my family's got a lot of strong people, strong women in it. And I wanted to be like that. And I felt weak. You know, there's nothing weak about admitting that something's wrong, though. And it's taken me a lot of years to learn that. And yeah, I'm gonna link some helpful stuff in the description box below. There's a book that I bought that was very helpful. There's hotlines. There's YouTube channels that are really helpful. And that sort of thing. And also, my therapist has been an absolute lifesaver. literally. So if you're in Colorado and you need a therapist, I definitely recommend Scott. So I'm going to go ahead and link all that down below. I'll put a link for the music that I'm using and all that. And just know that I love you guys. I appreciate you being here and coming back and listening to my rambling. Whoever is listening to this, I don't care if it's just you, one singular person. I just want people to know that you're never alone and that things get brighter. And yeah, it's an addiction. It takes a lifetime to fight it. It really does. But you know what? You don't have to fight it alone. If you want to have a conversation, drop down in the comments. And I'll see you guys later. Hopefully the next thing I put out is a little brighter, but I was contemplating relaying my experiences going to a locked ward 3 times. So, I'm not trying to be depressing. I'm just trying to be real. I'm trying to share what I can share. And maybe help somebody through my own experiences. But anyway, sorry for the rambling. I've talked for almost half an hour now, so I'm gonna go. Love you guys.